and welcome back to Atlas Talks Football, and welcome back to another transfer news live show update where I'll be giving you the latest Manchester United news that's come in the last 24 hours, discussing some of the questions in the live chat, discussing some Manchester United talking points, and just talking about all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, and all of that. And we know it's the midfield situation at Manchester United right now. We know it's a midfielder Trippier situation at Manchester United right now, and we know that depending on outs, Manchester United could possibly bring two more signings to the club in Trippier and a midfielder. So what am I going to be talking about in today's video, guys? Well, in today's video, we're going to be talking about the latest on Saul Niguez. We're talking about the transfer news coming in from Saul Niguez. The Athletic and Fabrizio Romano have made comments on Saul Niguez. We'll talk about what the reliable sources say on Saul Niguez. We'll talk about CAMAVINGA'S situation that, CAMAVINGA could almost be most likely to go to Manchester United due to what his agent wants and all of that. We'll also be talking about Neves. The Neves deal was doable but slow. There's more indication that Neves could be staying at Wolves now. We'll be doing we'll talk about Manchester United outs. A lot of players could be sold, including Matic, James, Delot, Pereira, Lingard, and Pogba's futures all unknown. We'll be talking about Trippier. Apparently, we've been given the green light to make a move for Kieran Trippier. We'll talk about the latest in Declan Rice. We're talking about CDM situation. Donny van de Beek staying and fighting for his place. Talking a little bit about pre-season, a couple other talking points as well. So we've got quite a lot to talk about in today's video. So do make sure you hit that like button, subscribe down below. Any questions for me, boom, put them in the live chat. But do I talk about transfer news? Let's go talk about a little bit of transfer news. We're going to start off with Saul Niguez because I think this is a story that, a lot of us wasn't really expecting to happen in a weird way. When we first got linked to Saul Niguez, I was like, nah, it's probably not going to happen. Not really going to report much on Saul Niguez because I don't really believe, it's going to happen. It's one of them. We get linked to him every year and we don't sign it. But to be fair, there's more and more reports that suggest that United are generally interested in signing Saul Niguez. And now we know that Saul Niguez will leave Atletico Madrid. DePaul has joined Atletico Madrid. Romano said Saul Niguez will leave for about 35 to 45 million pounds. Around 40 million quid we could get Saul Niguez for. Around 30 million quid we could get Camavinga for. So the two midfielders we are linked to the most are Saul Niguez and Camavinga. 30 million quid, 40 million quid. Very, very doable, especially if you sell Justin Lingard for 20 million quid. Apparently we want 20 million for Andreas Pereira. Never going to get that. If Lazio give us 20 million quid for Andreas Pereira, that is fucking robbery, but I would take it. We will talk about outs though, but let's talk about Saul Niguez. Now, what is the latest on Saul Niguez and what do we know so far and all of that? So let's start from the beginning about Saul Niguez, then I'll give you what's come out today, what's come out from the Athletic, what's come out from Fabrizio Romano. Now, Saul Niguez gets linked to Manchester United every summer for the last probably 3 summers. Very, very good player. Box-to-box player. Can play deeper. Like, obviously, plays for Atletico. Very, very defensive team. Is a box-to-box player. I will discuss, could he do that role in the CDM? Could he do that role on the pivot later on in this video and all of that? He has been linked to United. He does have a history of using Man United as almost PR. He had this whole Saul Niguez new club kind of thing last summer and all of that. There is obviously the slight chance that he is going to Barcelona, but he could be dragging Man United's name in to hurry up Barcelona to do this deal. We do know that we have been used by Saul Niguez, Atletico. We do know that we, as a big club, we do get used by Spain to hurry up other clubs, of course. But now there's this rumour of this Saul Niguez Barcelona swap deal, including Griezmann. I mean, Barcelona literally spent £200 million on fucking Griezmann. Well, not that much. They spent like £100 million on Griezmann just to swap him with Saul Niguez valued at £40 million. I mean, Barcelona absolutely muggy, isn't it? I mean, Barcelona in the mud. But so there's obviously the Saul Niguez, Man United, Barcelona, Liverpool rumours. It's the whole Barcelona swap deal. Now we know from Fabrizio Romano that Manchester United are keeping out an eye for Saul Niguez. We do know that from Fabrizio Romano. He said we're going to wait and see what happens with the Barcelona swap deal. So ideally Saul Niguez wants Barcelona. Ideally Barcelona wants Saul Niguez. But Barcelona in the mud at the moment. They can barely get to pile on a free. They think they can get Saul Niguez. Does Griezmann want to go back to Atletico as well? They got Suarez. They got João Felix. Are they that bothered? It's a bit of a situation, isn't it? Can they do this swap deal, Atletico, Barcelona? It's going to be hard to do because Barcelona, as I've said, in the mud. So we know Saul Niguez is very, very open to moving to England, and the Premier League teams interested in him are Chelsea, Manchester United, Liverpool. Now, Liverpool are sold Wijnaldum, generally for that interested in him. We obviously need a midfielder. If we sell Pogba, we'll be very interested in him, but ideally we need a CDM. Chelsea, they're interested in him, but they've got Kovacic, they've got Jorginho, they've got Kante. Like, they're not that fussed. They've got bigger priorities. They're more interested in Declan Rice, and I think we should be more interested in Declan Rice. But we know from the Athletic today. Now, the Athletic is a very, very reliable source. I give it a tier 1 ranking, if you want my honest opinion. Romano's like GOAT tier, but Athletic is very, very reliable because you know, they just spit facts basically. And they say that Manchester United have the upper hand in the deal for Saul Niguez. They say, and we have more room to manoeuvre it when it comes to spending, as Liverpool don't make as much as us commercially, and we have a lower wage bill than Liverpool. So what the Athletic are saying is, you know, Man United do have the upper hand in this deal for Saul Niguez, because we know that Barcelona have financial issues, and we know that, you know, Liverpool, well, they've sold Wijnaldum, didn't really go for much, did he? We have the upper hand in this deal because, you know, we have more money than Liverpool. We make more money than Liverpool. We have a lower wage bill than Liverpool. And if you look at players that we can sell, we can make a lot more money out than Liverpool this season. Like, who could Liverpool sell? Minamino, maybe Origi. You know, Liverpool don't really have much bench depth. You know, we have more deadwood than Liverpool, which is a good and a bad thing. We can make more from ourselves, but we do have a shit ton of deadwood. And we're talking of deadwood, you know, £15 million for Daniel James, £20 million for Jesse Lingard. I mean, we're asking 20 million for Pereira, but I would take 12 million. Honestly, I think 20 million is robbery. Matic could be linked to Roma. You know, if Jose can't get Xhaka, he wants Matic as well. We don't even know about the future of Paul Pogba. We've got a goalie that we need to really sell as well. We don't know what's going to happen with Delot, but we know that the Delot money will probably be invested in Trippier. But the situation is, Romano says we're keeping an eye on the Saul Niguez Barcelona situation. Of course, we'll make a move that falls through. We're very, very interested in him. We know that Manchester United could beat Liverpool very, very easily to Saul Niguez because of Liverpool's financial issues and all of that. However, I think for Manchester United to invest in a player, we do have to sell. We have to sell. You know, we've got Jesse Lingard and Daniel James. You sell them two, you have the money. Boom, right in front of you for Saul Niguez. You've got Andreas Pereira, Phil Jones, Dalot, possibly going to go. I think if Paul Pogba goes, I'm very, very confident we could get the Saul Niguez deal done because we'd have a lot of motivation to do it. But I do think Manchester United and midfielders is very much a waiting game. We have to sell players before we can buy next, ideally. I know we want Trippier. I know we've been given the green light to go in for Trippier. I know that's very doable. I know that CAMAVINGA'S very, very doable. And I know that we could easily still sell because of financial issues. But for Man United to sign another player, we've got our first two signings in early, Sancho and Varane. We've got our two priority signings in. We now want to make two more signings, ideally, a backup right back in the midfielder. Man United want to make two more signings. But to make those two more signings, they have to ship deadwood out. So I think with Saul Niguez, it is a waiting game. It is a waiting game. It's a wait and see what happens. Barcelona are in the mud. If this Barcelona deal falls through with Saul Niguez, I'm sure we'll be in for him. We know from the Mirror. The Mirror said yesterday that Saul Niguez's representatives are flying to England to talk to Manchester United. They're pushing for Saul to get a move. There's more and more chances that this Barcelona deal could really fall through. Sal's really pushing to get his move out for Atletico. DePaul's come in. Atletico ready to sell. We know he will go. We know he's 40 million. We know Atletico will sell. And his representatives are coming to England to talk to Manchester United, to talk to Liverpool, to push for this move. United, strong position Liverpool. Very, very doable deal. But I'm going to say time and time again, with Saul Niguez, I was 20% on Saul Niguez. I'm now 40% on Saul Niguez because I think it's doable. But I think with CAMAVINGA, with Trippier, I believe we will make another signing, possibly two, depending on if Pogba goes. But I think with United, it's very much a waiting game. Let's see who we sell. Let's see who we buy. But I believe we will bring in a midfielder by the end of August. But as the Athletic say, it's quite easy for us to beat Liverpool to the deal. And if this Barcelona deal falls through, it's between United and Liverpool. And United could be in the upper driving hand for Saul Niguez and all of that. Apparently, it's been confirmed that Ruben Neves is staying at Wolves. It's looking more and more likely that Ruben Neves will stay at Wolves and all of that. I think it is very, very likely because Manchester United are more focused on players like Saul Niguez and CAMAVINGA as well. Nick Morris talks about how Atletico would have to pay Griezmann a huge sum as well and huge wages as well and all of that. And Jonas, thank you very much for the super chat. Says Saul is average at best. I'd rather go for Neves. Personally, I prefer Saul to Neves, but Neves does have that Premier League proven and all of that as well. And big up Alice, keep up the quality content. Who said it's confirmed? Well, the deal's not confirmed, but the Athletic confirm that, you know, Manchester United could easily beat Liverpool to Saul Niguez because of financial issues, just if that confused anyone here. So that is the latest on Saul Niguez. Very, very easy deal for Manchester United to do in terms of financially, but I think it's a waiting game. We will have to sell to buy. I'm going to talk about a few more transfer stories. I'm going to give you the latest on CAMAVINGA, Paul Pogba, possible ins and outs, read out a few live chats and all of that. So stay tuned for that. But please do hit that like button. And of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new to the channel. If you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news, please do make sure you subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football. We're on the road to 15.8k. We are 40 subscribers away from 15.8k. So keep subscribing if you're not subscribed to the channel. Someone has commented 3, Donny. We will be talking about the future of Donny van de Beek. He is going to stay at Man United this summer. Donny van de Beek is not leaving Manchester United. and he wants to fight for his place. Andrew said he definitely takes Saul at Manchester United. You can't pass up on a quality player. It just feels like he's holding out for Barcelona to try and work something out despite their financials. I do believe that Saul probably wants Barcelona, but I think Saul just wants to leave Atletico Madrid. And you've got to remember, Barcelona could barely get to pie on a free. So it's going to be very, very hard for Barcelona to get Saul Niguez. So I do think it's a very, very possible deal. But again, I also go, we do need a CDM more than the box-to-box. And I do think with Saul Niguez, it's very much related to Paul Pogba, whose future is very, very unknown. I'm just going to take a quick drink of water, then I will talk a little bit more about the transfer news. But Saul was a top player, and I got a comment right at the start of this video from Aaron Blair, who said, can we convert Saul to a CDM, Alice, or what are your thoughts about it? Could Saul be converted to a CDM? Now, what do we know about Saul Niguez? Now, we know that Sal's linked to Manchester United. We know that Manchester United can easily beat Liverpool in the race to Saul Niguez, bada bing, bada boom. You know, we're financially better than Liverpool, than Manchester United and all of that. We know Saul Niguez is 26 years of age, so he is in his prime. He plays 33 games in La Liga last season with 2 goals and 1 assist. The season before, he played 35 games with 6 goals. He is a midfielder. He is a box-to-box midfielder, but as you can see, his statistic output, he plays a very, very defensive role because of Diego Simeone and the way Diego Simeone sets up, which is a little bit like, you know, how Ollie sets up against the Big Six, how Diego Simeone sets up. But he plays as a box-to-box, but he basically plays as a pivot player because he has a very, very defensive role. Now, obviously, in his career, he's played 171 games as a box-to-box compared to 34 as a CDM. But Saul Niguez isn't a player that can really hold on his own as a CDM. Like, he could play in a pivot with Paul Pogba. Like, you could play Pogba, Saul, and Bruno, because Saul Niguez is... I'm not comparing Saul Niguez to Fred. They are completely different players. But what I'm saying is, Fred is a box-to-box player. His best position is box-to-box. But Fred can do a job in the pivot because he is a good defensive box-to-box midfielder. Saul Niguez is good defensively. Could he play on his own? Probably not. Could he hold on his own and do what an Ndidi could do, what a Declan Rice could do? Probably not. I don't think he can. He's not that kind of player. But he could do a good job. He could do what Fred does, but better in the pivot. Basically, because I don't want to compare him to Fred, but Fred is a box-to-box player. We play in the pivot. Saul Niguez could play in the pivot with Paul Pogba, do a better job than Fred, and definitely improve us. Saul is a very good pivot player, but he's not a player that we can really go, you're going to hold on your own, you're going to free up Pogba, you're going to free up Bruno, and you're going to cover the defence. However, saying that, with Varane at the back instead of Lindelof, we don't need that McFred cover for Varane and Maguire. So Saul Niguez, you know, could be just doing the cover by himself because we don't need to protect our defence as much. But for me, I don't think Saul Niguez can be converted into an out-and-out CDM. I'm pretty sure he would play in the pivot along with Pogba. I would be very, very happy if we signed Saul Niguez. I think it's a very, very good deal. I know he's not an out-and-out CDM. My dream signing would be Wilfred Ndidi, but I know that's never going to happen. If we sign Wilfred Ndidi, I will generally give literally £100 away on this channel if we sign fucking Wilfred Ndidi. The guy is just, wow, do you know what I mean? I'd love it if we sign Wilfred Ndidi. We're not. With Saul Niguez, with CAMAVINGA, with Ruben Neves, with Declan Rice, with Goretzka. 5 midfielders we've been linked to. Goretzka is using us for a new contract. We're not signing Goretzka. Declan Rice, we only sign Declan Rice if Paul Pogba goes, or if we make cash or someone like Martial, and I believe Martial's going to stay. I believe Donny's going to stay. You know, we're not going to get Declan Rice unless we get money. And look, if we sign Declan Rice, I will give £100 away to one of you viewers. I promise. If we sign Declan Rice, I'll give £100 away to one of my subscribers. So if you think we're going to sign Declan Rice, subscribe. There's Ruben Neves, there's CAMAVINGA, there's Saul Niguez. They're the 3 midfielders we're linked to, plus Trippier. Now, Ruben Neves, we've been told it's very, very unlikely there's been a Neves blow. It's probably not going to happen. Okay, boom, that's Neves out of the picture. Boom, boom, bye. There's CAMAVINGA, there's Saul Niguez. Now, these are the 2 midfielders we've been linked to the most. Obviously, CAMAVINGA, we know the situation with CAMAVINGA is Man United have been in talks with Rennes. But CAMAVINGA's got lots of choice. Rennes will sell CAMAVINGA for around £30 million. United do want CAMAVINGA, and we'll go for CAMAVINGA even if Paul Pogba stays, because CAMAVINGA has nothing to do with Paul Pogba. CAMAVINGA is a very, very doable deal. And reports coming today from Sante Jafe FM says that Edouard CAMAVINGA does want to move to PSG, but his agents are pushing for a move to England. Now, we are probably in for Saul Niguez or CAMAVINGA as our midfielder. I want to quickly talk about CAMAVINGA, then I will get into Saul Niguez stories, and then I will read out a couple of live chats. So any questions can be put down in the live chat. I will read them out in just a second. So the situation is with Saul Niguez, as I've said time and time again, United would like Saul Niguez. It's just a waiting game. It's us getting Saul Niguez is a waiting game. It depends on who we sell, if Barcelona can get him. If Barcelona fail to get Saul Niguez, we are in the driving seat to get Saul Niguez, but it depends on who we sell. Do we want them in and out? Saul Niguez to United is a waiting game, but we're in a better financial position to sign him than Liverpool, than Barcelona. So if we really want to Saul Niguez, we could break the bank and go out and get him. But I think because we've got our first 2 targets in Sancho and Varane, we're playing the waiting game with Saul Niguez. Let's see what happens. We know from the Athletic we are in the driving seat and in pole position to sign Saul Niguez financially. We know from Romano we are interested in Saul Niguez. We will like him. Now, Edouard Camavinga is the other midfielder that we have been linked to. Now, the situation with Camavinga is he's got Madrid in for him, he's got PSG in for him, he's got Man United in for him, he's got Chelsea in for him. We know Rennes will sell Camavinga. As I said earlier, we know Man United have been in talks with Camavinga, have been in talks with Camavinga's agents, have been in talks with Rennes. Romano has confirmed that he will be about £30 million at most. Rennes have to sell Camavinga this summer. Now, some sources say Camavinga prefers Spain. Some sources say Camavinga prefers PSG. Camavinga's in a situation like Varane where he will go to the club he wants to go to, most likely. He's got 1 year left on his deal. He's got a lot of clubs in for him. Camavinga will go where he wants to go to. Now, not many sources are indicating that club is Manchester United, so the Camavinga Manchester United news is massively slowed down. However, United are waiting to see what they do without. So we've got the whole of August to look at Camavinga, get this deal over the line. We have been in talks. We know Camavinga is interested in the idea of joining Manchester United. The situation is, if Camavinga wants PSG, he has to compete with Verratti, he has to compete with Wijnaldum, has to compete with Danilo, Draxler, Paredes, Sarabia, Herrera. So many players if he goes to PSG. If he goes to Spain don't have the finance to sign Camavinga. You know, we've mugged Real Madrid off for 40 million for Varane, and Real Madrid want Mbappe. They're not going to waste that money on Camavinga. Barcelona can't get to pay on free. So it's Man U, Chelsea. Chelsea, very, very good at business, very, very slow. Boom, Chelsea could whip him again. But I think we're in a situation where if Camavinga really wants to leave Rennes this summer, he almost could be pushed into going to Manchester United, whether he doesn't want to go to Manchester United or not. You know, his agents are pushing for that Manchester United move because financially, PSG need to sell before they can buy. Now, Man United don't actually need to sell before they can buy, but with our owners, they want to sell before we can buy. Madrid, you know, financially, we are ahead of, not PSG, but PSG have spent a lot this summer. Financially, we are ahead of the Spanish teams. We are ahead of Liverpool. Not Chelsea, not PSG, not City. But United are in a very, very good position to get Camavinga if Camavinga wants them. The thing is, if Camavinga doesn't want Manchester United, Man United might not want to sit there and go, we don't want to sign a player that doesn't want to come to us. We don't want to sign a player for the sake of it. We've done that in the past. It doesn't work. But I think with Camavinga, it's a 50-50. It's very up in the air. It's PSG, it's Madrid, it's Man United for Camavinga. PSG, Madrid, Man United. Now, I rule Spain out of the Camavinga thing just because of their finances. However, they could use a Varane money to get Camavinga. Camavinga's going to get more game time at Manchester United. I would keep an eye on Camavinga to Manchester United. Despite the Saul Niguez rumours heating up, despite that we're favourites to sign Saul Niguez and all of that, signing Saul Niguez might depend on if Paul Pogba goes. If Paul Pogba goes to PSG, Saul Niguez is likely. But we know from Fabrizio Romano that even if Paul Pogba stays, we will go for Camavinga. We've had talks with Camavinga. The reason the Camavinga talks are so quiet right now is because Fabrizio Romano's confirmed that Camavinga's got a lot of clubs in for him. He's really thinking about his future. I'm sure there'll be news in the coming week. We know United are interested in Camavinga. We know there's been talks, but we know it's quiet because Camavinga is a young lad and he wants to do what's best for his future, like Jude Bellingham. But keep an eye on Camavinga. I tell you this now. Keep an eye on Saul Niguez. Paul Pogba's future, Saul Niguez's future, Camavinga's future, Trippier's future, Daniel James's future, Delo's future, Pereira's future, Phil Jones's future is all a waiting game because something's going to happen in the next year or so. It really is. Something's going to happen in the next year or so. We just have to wait and see in that situation. But the news coming in today, obviously, is that it's been confirmed from the Athletic that, you know, if Saul doesn't go to Barcelona, we are in pole position to sign him because our finances are better than Liverpool. And we know that Camavinga's agent is pushing for him to move to Manchester United. So keep an eye on those stories. If there's any major updates on those stories, guys, I will be live. Look, if we get any big news on Camavinga to Manchester United, if we get any big news on Saul Niguez to Manchester United, I will be live. If we're close to signing a player, if we agree personal terms, if we sign a player, I'll be live. So make sure you guys subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news this summer. I'm doing a live watch along on Saturday to Manchester United versus Everton, and I will talk about pre-season in just a sec because we're going to have the full squad back for the Everton game in pre-season and all of that. I'll be doing watch-alongs for pre-season. I'll be doing Saul Niguez transfer updates. You know, if this deal was very, very close to happening for the agreement that's made, I will be live. When the deal is done, I'll be live. So make sure you tune in for all of that news. Subscribe, share, bada bing, bada boom. But I am going to read out a couple more live chats. Strange, there's a spider behind me. Is there a spider behind me? Someone said. There might be a spider behind me. Is there? Probably, because I've had my window open all day. Saul can play any position on the pitch. This is actually a good point, okay? Saul Niguez has played 8 games as a left mid, 1 game as a cam, 2 games as a right mid, 22 games as a centre mid, and 8 games as a DM last season alone. very, very flexible. He can play anywhere across the pitch and put in a shift. His attacking numbers aren't great. Like, he doesn't have the like Bruno goals and assist numbers, but he can put in a shift. Now, if we look at his overall balance, so this is Saul Niguez in the last sort of 8 seasons of his career. He's played 171 games as a box-to-box, 50 games as a left mid, 67 games as a right mid, 1 game as attacking mid. He's even played 13 games as a left back. He's played 15 games as a centre back and 34 games as a DM. You know, he's played 444 games in his career. You know, and he's played CM, right mid, left mid, defensive midfield, centre back, left back, and attacking midfield. You know, he's a very, very flexible player. You know, he's played 261 games in La Liga with 28 goals and 14 assists. You know, numbers ain't the best, but he's there to do a job. Very, very solid midfielder. So you do make a good point there. But like, what I say about Saul Niguez is I don't think he can be moulded into a player that can just hold on his own. I don't think he can just hold on his own. You know, I think he can play in the pivotal proper like Fred can, but Fred can't hold like an Ndidi could hold the midfield. You know, Fred and McTominay aren't DMs. They can play in the pivot, but they're not DMs. And I think Saul Niguez can play in the pivot, but he's not a DM. But I think he would do a better job on the pivot than Fred, than McTominay, than probably Donny. We have never really seen Donny in the pivot. Then Matic, because Matic has got no legs. Do you know what I mean? I think he would be a very, very good signing. Daniel said he'd love Saul at West Ham. Imagine if West Ham went out and signed someone like Saul Niguez. Like, shock of the season. Someone did mention Zakaria at £25 million. I've said this time and time again. Zakaria at CDM, look, he's had a bit of an iffy injury record, but he's still young. He's still a good player. I always think Zakaria, 1 year left on his deal. I know he's in the Bundesliga. I know he's not proven like Saul Niguez in that sense, but I always do sit there and go, 24-year-old Dennis Zakaria could get him for about £25 million. Why don't United make a move for him? I don't know. What are your thoughts on Dennis Zakaria? I think Dennis Zakaria, Tuchemini, Paulinho. There was obviously Suma that's gone to Leicester. There was that guy that's gone to Atlanta, Cooper Miners. You know, there's Basuma. There's a lot of CDMs out there, and I do sit there and go, why haven't Man United made a move for this player? I do agree. You know, if I look at Zakaria's stats from last season, we're not linked to Zakaria, by the way, guys. We're not going to get him, but he played 25 Bundesliga games last season. He played 21 games as a DM. He can even play in the centre back. And the one thing about Zakaria is he has a lot of pace. He has a lot of pace as well. So even if you are playing Maguire and Lindelof, Zakaria's pace, he can just drop in as a third centre back at CDM as well. Will be good to see Sancho and Varane if he's officially announced by then. I want to talk about pre-season. I do want to read out a few more live chats, as I haven't really read out that many live chats. By the way, I have something on my face, says someone. Yeah, eyes, nose, and a mouth. Donny for that CDM position, need to trust him to do his job. Actually, that reminds me, before we talk about pre-season, let's talk about Donny van de Beek. Someone says, think Cooper Miners moved to Atlanta fell apart, if memory serves. I will Google that. Because he's a CDM that's £20 million. Is he going to Atlanta? Arsenal now in the race to sign him, apparently. That's according to the Metro. So probably bullshit. I don't really know. But let's talk about Donny van de Beek, shall we? So Donny van de Beek, a player, like, you can't hate Donny van de Beek, a player that should have had more minutes last season. When he did have minutes, he played well. When he played as a box-to-box and Matic as a DM, was man of the match versus Wolves. You know, Donny van de Beek's a very, very good player at progressing the ball, very, very good player in general. And we know that Donny wants to stay and fight for his place at Manchester United, and fair enough. We know that Donny deserves more game time over the likes of McTominay and Fred, who had a lot of poor games last season and all of that. Now, the Athletic say Van de Beek has no plans to leave Manchester United this summer. And the message to him from Solskjaer was to work hard on the training ground and take opportunities when they arise, which is fair enough. We know that Donny van de Beek's bulking up. He's trying really hard, and we know that he thinks this could be a big season for him. Now, to be fair to Donny, Ollie did give him the captain's armband in pre-season. He's not really had his chances from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but he never really got a pre-season with Man United last summer. He never played that much. I think this is a make or break season for Donny van de Beek. He's a very, very good player, and I'm sure he's going to have a good career. Whether he fails at Man United, he's a player that I know is going to have a good career because he's a good player. When he's played for Man United and he's not had many chances, he's played well. And I think whether we sign a midfielder or not, I do think Donny van de Beek will get more chances next season. And I think one of the reasons he's going to get more chances next season is because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer doesn't have to play McFred as much. Now we've got Varane, and you don't need that McFred protection. But thank you very much to Selection for the super chat, who says, wouldn't take what they said about Saul too serious, and Liverpool is good finance-wise. I think he will go to Barca as well. According to Goal, Liverpool and Chelsea bid close to 100 million for Chizea. Well, that's mad. I know Chelsea and for Chizea, but I didn't know about Liverpool. Thank you very much for the super chat. I believe that Saul Niguez will go to Barcelona in the end, and Man United and Liverpool are being thrown in to hurry up Barcelona. But I do think if the Saul Niguez Barcelona deal falls through, which is a very, very strong possibility as well, United are in a very strong situation to sign him if they want him, but I don't think United are that bothered. I think he's like Thiago. We were linked to Thiago last summer, so were Liverpool. We were interested in him, but we were never massively interested in him. He went to Liverpool. I think that's the situation with Saul Niguez, but thank you very much for the super chat. I think Saul Niguez to Barcelona is probably most likely, but I do think it has a chance of falling through. And all of that, to be fair. Naeem says, hi Alice, I think United will sign a midfielder only if Pogba or Van der Beek leaves, and the midfielder we may sign will depend on on the way Ollie wants the team to play. I think you're correct with that. Donny Van der Beek is set to stay at Manchester United and fight for his place, as I was saying. I think, as I said earlier, I think Donny will get more game time next season because we only played McFred to protect Maguire and Lindelof. We played McFred literally to protect Maguire and Lindelof, because Maguire and Lindelof as a pairing were too slow. They didn't work together. When you played Bayer, you didn't play McFred. Now you've got Varane in. Varane is coming in for Lindelof. You know, we don't need that protection to an extent. You don't need that protection. So I don't think we're going to see McFred as much next season because we'll be playing Varane at the back. He's got pace. He's more experienced. The defence won't need that protection. So I do think Donny will get more game time next season. And we know that Ollie does want to play a 4-3-3 next season. We've been told Ollie wants to play a 4-3-3. And Ollie tested out the 4-3-3 versus Leicester City and versus Wolves, where he played Matic, Donny, and Mata. Okay, Mata and Matic in the midfield, but Donny still excelled with Mata and Matic in the midfield. Bloody hell, you're thinking. You know, he did experiment with that. And Donny, when he had Matic behind him, Matic playing box-to-box, Matic playing CDM, sorry, and Donny playing box-to-box, did a very, very good job. I think in terms of a box-to-box output, Donny Van der Beek offers much more than McTominay and Fred, who, for me, are box-to-box players. So I do think this whole Donny wants to stay and fight for his place, and Ollie's going to give Donny a chance next season. I think it's true because we're not going to be seeing as much as McFred with Varane coming in, because McFred was Lindelof protection. And I think with Donny Van der Beek, he will play more because, one, we know Ollie wants to try 4-3-3. Donny suits a 4-3-3 a lot better than Fred and McTominay, you know, because Donny going forward provides a lot more. And defensively, I think Donny's just as good as McTominay. You know, Donny makes more tackles per game than McTominay. Donny and McTominay played in a pivot once together versus Watford. Donny's defensive numbers were better. You know, Donny suits the box-to-box role. Ollie wants to play a 4-3-3. Donny wants to fight for his place. This is the make or break season for Donny Van der Beek. I hope he gets the game time. He deserves the game time. But I say, wait and see what happens with Donny Van der Beek. I do worry if we do sign Saul Niguez, that is for Donny Van der Beek. However, if Pogba leaves, you sign Saul Niguez, not really going to bother Donny Van der Beek. I think if we sign a CAMAVINGA, it won't bother Donny Van der Beek too much because I think Donny could play in the pivot with CAMAVINGA. Pogba could play on the pivot with CAMAVINGA. I do think, though, you know, we will sell a midfielder, but I think there's a lot more hints that it could be Matic than Pogba. If Matic goes, though, I do think getting out-and-out CDM that can hold. You know, we don't have a CDM other than Matic, and that does worry me as well. But I do think Matic out, CAMAVINGA in. Look, CAMAVINGA can mould into a CDM, play the pivot. But I think if we play a 4-3-3 and we have Varane, Donny's going to get more minutes. Because with Varane, you can play a 4-3-3. With Maguire and Lindelof, when you do play a 4-3-3, you're going to concede 2-3 goals a game. So as well as that, I do think Donny will get a few more minutes next season and all of that. Saul is a different class to the names you're talking about. I agree that Saul is a different class to Neves, Zakaria, Basuma, and all of that. I 100% agree. News about Ndidi. Look, I love Ndidi at Manchester United. He's a fantastic player, but I don't believe anything's going to happen. There has been news about Kieran Trippier to Manchester United that, according to Sean Irvin tweeted this, that apparently Manchester United are making the move for Kieran Trippier. They've been given the green light from Atletico Madrid to speak to his representatives, and talks are ongoing over personal terms. Take that with a pinch of salt, but there's talks about Trippier to Manchester United. Now, hopefully Man United sign CDM this summer, but as I've said time and time again, I don't want to repeat myself too much. Man United signing a midfielder depends on outs, but as I said, we're going to get money for Pereira. Hopefully Phil Jones will go. We could likely get money for Matic if he goes to Roma. We're going to get money for Daniel James if we sell him. We're going to get money for Lingard if we sell him. I believe we will sell Lingard. I think Man United will make another signing this summer. You know, we are likely to make a few monies and outs. We've got a lot of players to sell, but I think it is a waiting game. I think Trippier is almost the most likely deal to be next because I think it's just sell the low, get Trippier in. Trippier wants us, it's not an expensive deal. But I do think with CAMAVINGA, with Saul Niguez, it's a waiting game. I still think CAMAVINGA is the most likely midfield for us to sign. I still think Manchester United is CAMAVINGA's best option, and CAMAVINGA's agents are pushing for Manchester United. And we have actually been in talks with CAMAVINGA, and that's been confirmed by Romano. But I do think it's a waiting game in terms of Manchester United signing a midfielder. Andrew says he rates Zakaria, but he looks a shadow of himself since injury, especially his pace and mobility 2 seasons ago is excellent. I do agree with you. He hasn't looked as good lately. I mean, I haven't watched as much Bundesliga lately, but I 100% agree with you. Would Trippier signing bench Bissaka? That's an interesting question. I'm just going to take a drink of water, then I will answer that. Will Kieran Trippier signing a bench Wan-Bissaka? Now, there's a lot of Wan-Bissaka slander out there. Positioning is off a little bit. But what I feel about Wan-Bissaka next season, I think Wan-Bissaka could be almost like a Luke Shaw in the sense where he gets a lot of slander because he doesn't look that good. For me, Wan-Bissaka's solid. He does a solid job. He's not an issue at Man United. Charlie Austin, the Wan-Bissaka hates. For me, look, they could fuck off. Is Wan-Bissaka the best right back in the world? No. Is he in the finished product? No. Could he have a Luke Shaw resurgence? Yes. He's 23. Trippier could bench Wan-Bissaka, definitely. It's a possibility, but people said Tellers was going to bench Luke Shaw. Look what happened. Trippier could just be the next Tellers, puts Wan-Bissaka level ahead. I think Wan-Bissaka is going to have a really good season because he's going to have Varane next to him instead of Lindelof, which should improve his positioning. Now, Wan-Bissaka's weak point is not going forward. It's not attacking. I watched every game of Manchester United play for the last 3 years, and Wan-Bissaka's been in the last 2 years. Wan-Bissaka's problem is not his attacking output. Okay, his attacking output isn't near Trent, but Wan-Bissaka's job at Manchester United isn't to whip in crosses, and he doesn't have the same job that Trent has at Liverpool. You've also got to remember that. Wan-Bissaka's one-on-one, brilliant. We've conceded 2 goals from left wingers since Wan-Bissaka's come in, brilliant. Wan-Bissaka's positioning is what lets him down. We concede a lot of goals from that left post because Wan-Bissaka lets him down. Varane comes in. Wan-Bissaka's positional sense should be better because 1, Varane will tell him what to do, and 2, Wan-Bissaka tucks in to protect Lindelof a lot. Varane doesn't need that protection Lindelof gets. Now, Wan-Bissaka should also improve going forward next season because he can have the stability of Jadon Sancho on his side. It might maybe not at first because Sancho could be on the left because of the Rashford absence. But I think, if you get Trippier in and you've got Varane and you've got Sancho in, I just think there's no excuse for Wan-Bissaka not to improve and almost have a Luke Shaw resurgence in that sense because Trippier could improve his attacking output and put pressure on him. Trippier's very, very good attacking-wise. He could teach Wan-Bissaka to improve attacking-wise. Varane's that stability next to him at centre-back. Luke Shaw's got that stability of Maguire's left centre-back now. They work very well. That left-hand side of Luke Shaw and Maguire is a good partnership. We saw it for England. We saw it for United. Varane and Wan-Bissaka could have a stable partnership. And also, Luke Shaw and Rashford link up well on the left. I know Rashford's been a bit iffy, but they will link up well. So, being a right back, you've got to link up well with your right centre-back. You've got to link up well with your right winger. And I do think, yes, it's possible that Trippier benches Wan-Bissaka, but I think Trippier comes in, gives Wan-Bissaka that push. I think Wan-Bissaka's got lots of reasons to improve next season. He's only young. I think maybe Trippier could bench him for a few games, but I think Wan-Bissaka, come this time next year, will still be our first choice right back. If you want my honest opinion on that situation, to be fair. Any questions for me? Please do pop them down below in the live chat. I'm going to try and read out and reply to as many questions as possible. We are talking about the latest Manchester United news and transfer news. Obviously, we are in the best financial position to sign Saul Niguez out of all the clubs in for Saul Niguez. However, I think it's a waiting game. I still think CAMAVINGA is our most likely midfield signing. That is the situation with midfielders at Manchester United. We know that Trippier deal is very, very likely. Delo is like to leave. Manchester United want £20 million for Andreas Pereira. You're having a joke, Manchester United. You're having a joke. I can't believe it. If we get £20 million for Pereira, though, fair fucking play and all of that. And we do know from Romano and Athletic that United do actually have an interest in Saul Niguez. And all of that. More news coming in that Luke Shaw, Harry Maguire, Paul Pogba, Fred, David De Gea, Edison Cavani, and Jadon Sancho will return to Manchester United training tomorrow. It'll be very, very interesting to see Sancho in training tomorrow. Not only does Sancho return to Manchester United training tomorrow, guys, but Varane is on a flight to Manchester tomorrow. Varane is on a flight to Manchester tomorrow, which will be very, very interesting. And we are going to talk about the pre-season friendly versus Everton as well. We will. Andrew says, I don't know about a nearly 31-year-old right back in a back four in the Prem. And Wan-Bissaka's improving going forward. And when on form, he's a great one-on-one defender. Exactly, I agree. You've got to also remember Trippier's 31. He's not used to a 4-back system. 100% agree. 100% agree with that. And I think Wan-Bissaka is definitely improving going forward. He's putting some great crosses. Wan-Bissaka got more assists than Reece James and Kyle Walker combined last season and all of that. Nick says signing Trippier will only help Wan-Bissaka. The experience of both Trippier and Varane will only help Wan-Bissaka get better and better. And I agree with that. And this guy says, Alice, who could be the best replacement if Matic leaves? For me and Didi, but I think Declan Rice is more doable because we can use Lingard to lower the price. But we only get Declan Rice if Paul Pogba goes. Nick says 117 people watching. Smash that like button and get the stream up to 100 likes. Yeah, let's see if we can hit 150 likes by the end of the stream. So let's get it to 100 likes and hopefully 150 likes. So also, if you are not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football. If you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news, please do subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football. Or we're also on 98 likes, so do hit that like button. Tedson says Neves, Saul or Camavinga. For me, probably Saul in terms of quality, but I think Camavinga would be the best long-term deal out of all of those as well, by the way. But yeah, Andrew says, lots of rumours if we got Trippier, we would go to a back five, but I doubt it. Yeah, I don't think we're going to go to a back five. If anything, we're going to change up formation next season. It's a 4-3-3. And I've said this before, Varane does allow Manchester United to play a 4-3-3 because he's got that pace. We only play a 4-2-3-1 with McFred to protect Maguire and Lindelof. I'll say it time and time again. We only buy a 4-2-3-1 with McFred to protect Maguire and Lindelof. With Varane, we could play a more expansive football. Someone did mention Kessie. Honestly, I love Kessie. I think Kessie's a great player. You know what? We should say, look, we'll give you DeLow and 20 million for Kessie. Honestly, if Man United did that, boom, because I'm a big fan of Kessie of AC Milan as well, and maybe you could use DeLow in that. But Man United just don't think like that. You know, I'm like, okay, Brighton want Daniel James. Use him in a Basuma deal. The problem with Kessie, he's 24 years old. He's valued at £50 million, so we'd have to give them a good 30 million and DeLow at least to get him. And we probably have to raise a little bit of money. But if you sell Lingard, money you get for Lingard and Daniel James, you could get Kessie for. I think he's a great player now. I am a big fan of Kessie, but he hasn't really been linked to Manchester United that much. We are on over 100 likes, so let's push for 200 likes by the end of the live stream. And of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football for new. But one thing I want to talk about, which isn't really related to transfer news, but pre-season. So as you're aware, the pre-season game versus pre-season game versus Preston, was cancelled, which was a shame, but you know what, it is what it is. COVID cases in the training, it is cancelled. I'm assuming the COVID cases with some of the youngsters. That's what I believe. So that game, that was cancelled, meaning Everton is our last pre-season friendly before the season starts. Now, last summer, we didn't have a pre-season, and that did affect us. We weren't great last summer. It generally did affect us. I'm a little bit worried that we're only going to have one pre-season game, really, with all the players featuring, which is Everton. And then a week later is the season. I kind of think, do we need another pre-season game? I still think we need to find a pre-season game, put a pre-season game in someone. I'm a little bit worried. You know, I know a lot of other teams are in the same position because of international break and stuff. But I kind of just wish the season was delayed that week because I'm a little bit worried that Leeds will be more prepared. You know, QPR all over us. I know it wasn't our first team and pre-season doesn't matter, but we do know, you know, when you don't have a pre-season, you start slow. We started the season very, very slow, but we were very good when we got going. I'm a little concerned that players like Bruno maybe going to get one pre-season game under the belt. Same with Sancho, same with Shaw, same with Maguire. Varane probably won't even get a pre-season game because he's going to have to quarantine. So I'm a little bit worried about pre-season. I'm not going to lie. I do think we need to fixture an extra match. Andrew says Kessie is among many players showing there are plenty of options out there. Basuma, Camavinga, Saul, Zakaria. Just get one. 100% agree. 100% agree with you there. There's so many midfielders out there. And so Max says Kessie said he's not thinking about leaving AC Milan and that he's very proud to play for them and he doesn't want to leave the club. Forever, I've heard, yeah, but the players say that, you know. I think, look, we really wanted Kessie, we could, and all of that, but it's just one of those. It is just one of those. I am going to copy and paste, wait a sec. I'm just going to copy and paste the link. In the description is the link to vote for me in the Football Content Awards, by the way. I've been nominated for the Football Content Awards. Well, not nominated. I got nominated for the Football Content Awards last year. I came second in Best New Content Creator. So it'd be absolutely awesome if I could get nominated again this year and hopefully win an award. So Link in the description. If you click on this link, you can vote for me in the Football Content Awards. So best new content creator, best club content creator, best young content creator. So please do vote me for those. Link in the description. Just thought I'd pull that in. So if you are watching your board, do vote for me in the Football Content Awards for best new content creator, best young content creator, best Premier League content creator. I can clarify for all those rounds. You can also vote other YouTubers. If there's any other YouTubers you like and watch, like AFTV, Eunice Talks Football, you can also vote for them in categories as well. So do click on that link and vote in the Football Content Awards. And of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football. So many options for a midfielder, so we just need to sign one. Exactly. There are so many options. I want to talk about this. Okay, so many players we can sell. Pereira, £15 million. We want 20. Pereira, 15 million at a push. Lingard, I'm going to say below 15 million as well. That's 30 million for Pereira and Lingard. James, 15 million. That's 45 million. Lingard, we should get 25 million, but I think we'll get 20. That's 65 million. Matic, Phil Jones, probably another 5 million in there. That's 70 million in Deadwood. Gone. 70 million there. That's just Deadwood. You know, we still got a goalie we could sell. I mean, if worse comes to worse, there's Pogba. That's 70 million in Deadwood. You could invest that 70 million in Deadwood from Trippier. Cool. 20 million. Boom. Done. Then you have 50 million to get a CDM. Kessie, Basuma, Zakaria, Neves, Saul. All affordable. Maybe Declan Rice if you want to go a little bit over budget. CAMAVINGA, obviously, you've got so many options out there. And I look at the team, and I've said this time and time again, I look at the team, I did a video, I did a bit of analysis on that. Defence, fine. Back four, solid. Luke Shaw, Maguire, Varane, solid. Wan-Bissaka, solid. Ollie wants to play a 4-3-3. To play a 4-3-3, you need a CDM. Attack, solid. Attack wasn't even a problem last season. We've added Sancho to that. Boom. Attack, solid. Defence, no more Lindelof and Maguire, no more Magaluf, if we call them. Boom, solid. Midfield, big, fat hole. CDM. Sell the Deadwood. Get a CDM. It's not hard. It's not hard. Get a backup right back if you want, but the CDM before anything. And as I said time and time again, the Athletic confirmed we're in a stronger financial position than Liverpool and Barcelona to sign Saul Niguez. You know, CAMAVINGA could be pushed in Man United's direction because it's the best day in terms of game time and finances for him. You know, can Madrid afford CAMAVINGA? You know, there's two players that we could easily get if we really went for them. I mean, CAMAVINGA might not want us, but financially we are better than all the other teams in for them. But as I said time and time again, this summer is just a waiting game because before we sign anyone else, we're going to have to sell some Deadwood. It is literally wait Pereira go, wait Dalot go, wait Jones go, wait Lingard go, wait is Pogba going to go? Is Pogba going to say? This summer is very, very dead. Sell the Deadwood. Who do we buy next to Manchester United? And we want Trippier and we want the midfielder. We want 2 more signings. We do. But it just depends on Dalot, Pereira, Jones, Pogba, Lingard. Depends on all those players. Daniel James, even. It just depends on all those players. And I think with Saul Niguez, we could get him. I think he wants Barcelona. I think he's using Manchester United to hurry up Barcelona. Doable, for sure. Romana says it's doable. Athletic says it's doable. Will we go for him? Not unless Pop believes, in my honest opinion. No. CAMAVINGA, very, very doable. But we're not making any moves for him until we know what's happening with Pogba, to what's happening with our midfielders. So this August, as much as Man United want Trippier and a midfielder in, it's just a waiting game. But I do believe we will sign one more player, but you just have to sit there and wait. And it's just, you just got to wait. I've said time and time again. So please do subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're not subscribed to the channel, by the way, because if we sign a player, if we're close to signing a player and all of that, I will be live to update you. So the minute we agree personal terms with a player, the minute we put a bid in, the minute we sign a player, there'll be a live stream. Same with selling a player, there will be a live stream. So you know, if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news, please do subscribe. Obviously, the Mirror reported yesterday that Saul Niguez's agents and representatives are flying out to England to try and finalise a deal with Manchester United or Liverpool. So this has come from the Mirror, so do take it with a pinch of salt. But I would keep an eye on the Saul Niguez story for another week. But I think Saul Niguez's future will be wrapped up in the next week. The Sun claimed that Manchester United will go for Haaland next summer. Probably will be interested in him, but I doubt we will get him. And all that. Newcastle are pushing to sign Tuanzebe. It looks like Tuanzebe will be going to Newcastle on a loan deal and all of that and all that stuff. I also want to talk about a story about should Greenwood take set pieces. Greenwood was the set piece taker in the academy. Very good person. I'd like to see Greenwood take set pieces and all of that. And there would be a $5 million loan fee for Tuanzebe. Tuanzebe to Newcastle is closing in. I think the signing of Varane pretty much cemented that Tuanzebe will go out on loan. Jerome Boateng's dreaming of a Manchester United move, but Fabrizio Romano confirmed that United will not get Boateng as well. A little bit more news. We obviously know Rashford's going to be out for the first bit of the season and all of that. And Manchester United did unveil their away kit last season. Now, we've got less than 2 weeks till the season starts. Absolutely mad. We've got, obviously, the pre-season game versus Everton on the 7th. Is the Everton game pre-season, or is that actually the opening game of the season? Is the Everton game pre-season? Is that the opening? Everton. Is that pre-season or not? Yeah, I'm sure the Everton game is pre-season. Because for some reason, the Manchester Evening News is saying that Everton's our first Premier League game. That's not. Surely it's not. Wait, let me just. Everton. Someone confirmed to me that Everton game is pre-season. The Premier League never starts as early as August 7th, right? It always starts after August 10th. Manchester United. So Premier League is Leeds. Yeah, Everton is a friendly. The Manchester Evening News said that. The Manchester Evening News are saying that Everton's our first Premier League game of the season. What the fuck are they on? I literally just sat there. So we got Leeds, then we got Southampton, then we got Wolves, then we got Newcastle. From Leeds, Southampton, Wolves, and Newcastle, I want United to get 12 points. But I do think, have we had the best pre-season? No. And all of that. Adam Crafton said that Donny van de Beek has no plans to leave Manchester United this summer, and United have not suggested that they'd like him to leave. All parties are hopeful that he will have a successful second season. I just wanted to quote that quote there, which I forgot to quote it earlier when I was talking about Donny van de Beek and all of that. This Haaland to Chelsea news is really slowing down. So to be fair, the story that we could go for Haaland next summer is doable. What's your thoughts on the away kit? I do really like the away kit. I think this is one of our better away kits, actually. I want to know your thoughts on the away kit. Opening game is Leeds, Everton is pre-season. I did think so. I don't know why the Manchester Evening News is saying Everton is pre-season. I was like, am I missing something here? We can get 50 million for Pogba if he leaves. I think we definitely can. PSG, if Pogba leaves, it'll be PSG. But as Romana said, nothing is advanced between Pogba and PSG, to be fair. Like, there's nothing advanced and all of that. So, is what it is. I do think deals for Saul Niguez, CAMAVINGA, if you sell for Pogba, we will get a midfielder for sure. Like, I think we want a midfielder, but we're just seeing if we can sell Lingard, James, Dalot, Matic, Pereira. I think we want a midfielder, we want a backup right back, but I think if we sell for Pogba, we're definitely getting a midfielder. And I believe there will be a third signing. I think we want Trippier and a midfielder, and I think we do want to make 2 more signings. But I'm confident there will be another signing at Manchester United. It's just, as I've said time and time again, it is a waiting game. Please do subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football. If you are new to the channel, please hit that like button as well. Let's see if we can get to 200 likes by the end of the live stream. So if you're not subscribed to Alice Talks Football, please do subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news and all of that. I am plugging the channel as well. And as we've got over 120 people watching, please do vote for me in the Football Content Awards. There's a link in the description. There's a link in the chat. I can qualify for Best Young Content Creator, Best New Content Creator, Best Content Creator, and Best Premier League Content Creator. So please do vote for me in those categories. You can also vote for other YouTubers. Gaz Elliott says no trophy, Ollie out. I do agree, Ollie has to win a trophy next season. And Phil Francis says if we play a 4-3-3, it will be with one of Bruno and Pogba, not both. You can play a 4-3-3 with Bruno and Pogba. We did that post-COVID, Matic, Bruno, Pogba. It's just quite hard to do a 4-3-3 with Bruno and Pogba if you don't have an out-and-out CDM. But you can play a 4-3-3 with Bruno and Pogba for sure. Why is the Lindelof situation being ignored? What do you mean the Lindelof situation? He's just going to be a bench player, isn't he? Am I missing some kind of Lindelof situation? Varane is going to bench Lindelof. Lindelof's going to be third choice in case one of Varane and Maguire gets injured, right? Is there any other Lindelof news that I've missed? I'm assuming that's what you mean. No, Neves. Yeah, Neves looks more likely to stay at Wolves, but that doesn't really surprise me. You know, United are monitoring it, but we were never really in for Neves. We'd only get Neves if it was a bit of a panic buy at the end of the season and Pogba left and we were desperate for a midfielder, if you want my honest opinion. Elanga is better than James, and so sell James. I mean, I think Elanga could offer more than Daniel James next season, but Daniel James is Premier League quality. He's just not United quality. Did Arsenal lose again? I haven't bantered Arsenal in today's video. I have not bantered Arsenal in today's video. They lost to Chelsea. Woo, Arsenal. You know, I normally banter Arsenal on all my live streams, but I completely forgot to banter Arsenal today. So thank you for reminding me, because Alice has to banter Arsenal in every live stream. We just have to, banter FC. It just is how it is. And as I said time and time again, for a club that's finished 8th 2 seasons in a row, not been in the Champions League for 4 seasons, they really are confident for a team that's so shit. They really like to say that we're shit and bring down Varane when they're spending 50 million on Ben White. Arsenal, you are banter FC. People asking me about Saul. The Athletic, very, very reliable source, confirmed that Manchester United are in a stronger financial position to sign Saul than Liverpool and all of that. And Romano confirms United are interested in Saul, but we're waiting to see what happens with Barcelona. Saul is a waiting game. It was a rumour of a swap for Lindelof and Griezmann. Probably bullshit if that is a story coming out and all of that. Jones said to be paid off to leave on a free. Tuanzebe to go on loan, and Bai could also be sold. Now, I think we're going to have to keep Bai because I think we need two backups. But in case Varane and Maguire gets injured, Lindelof will be one backup. Bai will be the next. But I think Tuanzebe will go, and hopefully Jones will go. Phil Fran says the 4-3-3 will be deployed against Beek opposition and will be good opportunity to rest Bruno/Pogba. Possibly, you could see Donny, Pogba, Matic in a 4-3-3. I think, when you play City, it will be a 4-2-3-1. Defensive counter-attacking football, but I do think Ollie will test out the 4-3-3 next season, but I think a lot of him testing out the 4-3-3 depends on if he gets the CDM that he does really want. Daniel Fleming says, score prediction for Man U Everton, I'm going 2-2. I don't know, actually, interesting game. I have to see the lineup and I'll do a score prediction. I will be doing a watch-along on Saturday for Manchester United versus Everton, so that will be at 12:45 kickoff. Jeez. I'll be live from 12:40 to about 3 p.m. then for Man U Everton. So do subscribe for that for the watch along. If you can't watch the United preseason games, don't worry. I will be commentating all the preseason games, telling you who plays well, what's going on, how the game goes, and all of that in my watch along. So do subscribe for that and all of that. And please do subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new to the channel. We are 20 subscribers away from 15.8k. 20 subs to go to hit 15.8k. So please do subscribe down below. Let's see if we can get 15.8k. I was going to say the end of the week, it's Sunday. Let's see if we can hit 15.8k in the next couple of days. So in the next 48 hours, let's see if we can hit 15.8k. So please do subscribe. What do you think about sell to buy? Well, we've signed our first. Look, would I like us to sign a midfielder before anything? Yes, but you've got to remember we signed our first. Fabrizio Romano said in April, Man United wants Sancho and Varane, but we all just knew that. We all thought, oh, we're never going to get both, but we got both. Man United have got their first two choice summer targets. We knew it was right wing and centre back before CDM. We've known that from the beginning of the window that right wing and centre back was viewed as a priority before CDM. Sancho and Varane were priority before CDM. We've got our two priority positions. That is done. United would like a midfielder and they would like a backup right back, but it wasn't priority like centre back and CDM. So United, in a situation they can almost sell to buy in the sense of they've got their priority signings. They're now going to sell a few players and hope they can get a midfielder and back up right back in. If you want my honest opinion, I think we will sell to buy. I think it is a waiting game, but I think we will make one more signing. I'm confident. Isn't it just funny that Arsenal fans think the Ben White deal is better than Varane? I think they all know deep down it isn't, but they just want to go off that and all of that. Man City are still favourites and they're basically against Grealish and Kane. Fuck me, honestly. I hate Man City. They're just if they sign Grealish and Kane, this is the thing. This Man City fan on TikTok, he said, if Manchester United don't win the league next season, it's shambles. Now they've signed Varane and Sancho. And I'm like, you're a Man City fan. You've got the team you have. You're going to sign Grealish and Kane, and you still haven't won the Champions League. But you think if Man United don't win the league next season, it's shambles. I'm sorry, you haven't won the Champions League. Fuck off in my head. Andrew said he could see Lindelof for sale in 2022. Probably won't. We won't move on them by them best everyone. I think Lindelof will stay for a year, but I think if Varane completely benches him, he might push for a move and all of that. But apparently Grealish is secretly a Man United fan. A lot of Grealish Man United tweets are coming out, which is quite funny. We getting Grealish and Kane and we buying a left back, says Diego Lopez. Possibly. Like, if you get Grealish, Kane and a left back, it's over. But hopefully, the thing is, I think for me, if Man City get Kane, it's over. I think if Man City get Grealish but not Kane, it's doable for United because Grealish is just a rotation winger. Man City don't have a left back and they don't have a complete striker. If Man City get Kane, it's over. Grealish is a good signing for them, but it's fine. You don't want City to get Kane. The only negative of spending 150 million on Kane for Man City is his injury record as well. To be fair. Go Martial and Pogba. I like Martial and Pogba. I think they're two of our best players. In terms of ability and skill, I think that Martial, Pogba, Bruno, Donny van der Beek, and probably Cavani are our five best sort of players in a weird way, in terms of what I think they could offer on form, if you want my honest opinion. Chelsea could sign Koundé, Rice, and a 9 upgrade as well. Just because we signed Sancho Varane doesn't make us favourites with our rivals' business. 100%, I agree. Look, I'm not going to do my Premier League predictions until the end of the transfer window because I still think, yeah, we're in a position where we could win the league. I'm confident we'll get top 4. If we don't get top 4, absolute fucking shambles. But yeah, 100%. You don't know who Chelsea's going to buy. You don't know who City's going to buy. You don't even know who Liverpool's going to buy. Liverpool, they won't, but Liverpool could get Mbappe for some reason. They won't, but you know what I mean. It's an absolute mad one. It is an absolute mad one, to be honest, and all of that. But Nick Morris says rumour Kane is saying at Spurs are now leaving. He says you will only sell it for 200 million. So I misread that. You know what? I think it's very, very possible that Kane could be held at Spurs against his will. Spurs do not want to sell Kane because they are in the mud if they sell Kane. They are in the mud. As much as I hate to say it, they would be. They would be 100%. And all of that. So thank you everybody for tuning into today's live stream. I am going to wrap up the live stream here. So if you had any questions for me in the live chat that I did not answer, just subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football. And any questions in the live chat that I didn't answer, I promise I will answer in tomorrow's live stream. I am live again tomorrow night for another transfer news show update. So any transfer news that comes out in the next 24 hours, I will cover tomorrow night. If there's any interesting updates on Saul, CAMAVINGA, Rice, Goretzka, Neves, Trippier, Pogba, if there's any interesting news on any of those players or Grealish, I will be live tomorrow night to fill you in on that. But if you have any questions for me that I didn't answer in the live chat, please do subscribe, put the bell notification on, comment it in tomorrow's video, and I'll try and read out any questions I didn't answer in today's video in tomorrow's video. Before you leave the live stream, please click on the link in the description or the link in the chat and nominate me for these awards and the Football Content Awards. It will be absolutely amazing. I came second last year. I really want to be nominated again. Hopefully I can win awards. So please do click on this link. Nominate me for Best Young Content Creator, Best New Content Creator, Best Club Content Creator. You can also nominate other content creators like AFTV, Eunice Tots Football, whatever YouTubers you like. You can also nominate them for awards as well. There's loads of awards you can nominate people for. So in the description, please do click on that link. Do subscribe, do like, and all of that. I do agree with this comment here. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. Thanks for the support on today's video. Like, subscribe, share, comment in the comments if you want. See you next time.